All my lights weren't working, but now they are. I'm gonna show you what I did. So, first thing I noticed, no lights worked, brake lights stuck on. First thing you're gonna find
has a switch right there. There's a tab that has a clip. It gets super dried out, corroded, breaks, so I put a bolt right up there to take up space. You can use any kind of plastic grommet or clip. And then the switch opens, closes, operates normally.
So brake lights are all good. Next thing I noticed, since it was a barn find, this entire pigtail was chewed through. Don't have crimps, and I have a bunch of soldering supplies, so I went ahead, soldered those together, taped them up. They all work good, and there were a bunch of wires over here that started to get chewed through, pretty nasty looking as well. So I went ahead, replaced those. They're all good. No tail lights, no other lights, headlights, nothing. The next thing I went ahead and did, I took this switch apart. So you take the plastic steering wheel cover off, 2 screws, one there and one there. Disconnect all these connectors. There's a bunch of them. They come apart pretty easy. This side has plastic tab on the side there and on the side here. You just pry them apart. Those two come apart. This one pulls apart like normal. You're gonna find a couple of different switches. This is for the wipers. It's got 3 screws. It comes out. You can clean that up. This is for the headlight selector switch, combination switch. You bend those tabs back with a screwdriver, and that comes right off. Here's the turn signal switch, 2 screws. That comes apart. And this last one is the dimmer switch. All you gotta do is carefully get a pick in there, pry the white plastic off. There's a couple of tabs that poke through on either side, and that selector switch comes apart. You can clean that pretty easy. There's a bunch of videos on that. All those cleaned, still nothing. So I was chasing down power everywhere, trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Eventually I came over here and checked my fuses, and what I thought I was testing correctly, apparently I wasn't, and the park/tail fuse was completely blown there, right up on the top right. So I went ahead and popped a new one in. My dash lights came on, my tail lights came on, all my side marker lights came on, but still no headlights. So the next thing I did is I took out the headlights. So there's a couple of screws there on the fender well, and I take the tire off to just make it easier to get to it. This fender liner pushes over to the side. There are 4 screws that hold the assembly on right there. There's 3 screws that hold the ring, plastic ring around the headlight that holds that in place. Pulled the connectors off. They were super corroded inside of there. All of the contacts on the light were corroded, and when I took my ohm meter, tested the lights were busted. So I got 2 new lights, cleaned up these contacts. You just soak them with vinegar for like a minute and then wash them out, use compressed air, blow them out, and I'm gonna later put dielectric grease on them. I checked my voltages with both light bulbs unplugged because it does make a difference. It backfeeds, so you'll read really low voltage if you don't have both of them unplugged. Both unplugged, turn the light switch on, and I had 12 volts at my connectors, so that was good. So I went ahead, tested the lights. Low beams didn't work, but I switched on the high beams, and the high beams did come on. The next thing I had to do was check for power going to my low beams. I knew my dimmer switch was clean because I cleaned that, so what I had to do was measure for low beam voltage. So on this white connector, what you'll see, 6 prongs. If you turn the light switch on, it will show voltage at both red and white and red and black. Red and white is going to be high beams, red and black is going to be low beams. So I measured voltage there at red and white. I got 12 volts, so that was good. I measured voltage there at red and black. Nothing. Pretty much nothing. So if you trace that wire back in the diagram, now it can be chewed through, which I thought could certainly be possible in my case. The wire was not chewed through, but the mice didn't totally leave it untouched because there was corrosion within the connector, right here, I'll put the diagram connector number up on the screen so you can see what it is. So this connector has one tab right there. It pulls apart. You can see I have dielectric grease all over it, but there was a bunch of corrosion in these spade connectors there. Same thing I did with the headlights is the vinegar for a minute or so. Use some water to rinse off the acid, and then I sprayed it out with my blowgun. The tabs did experience a little bit of wear, so even after I cleaned it, they had some bad connection. So I put my pick in there. It's hard to tell, but I kind of squeezed that connector so it was a little bit tighter. Now when you plug it in, turn on the lights. Forgot to plug the switch back in. There are the low beams working, side markers there, got my side markers, tail lights all working. I also went ahead and cleaned up the hazard switch there, which pulls out of the dash. It's just got a couple clips on the sides. Clean that switch up. And I also have my turn signals. And there we go. Got my flashers going in the back, as well as in the front. Here's the talking part of the video. If you want to leave, no hard feelings, man. This is my channel and my project. You're just trying to figure out your problems. I totally get it. So I hope this video can be a helpful insight to you if you're trying to diagnose lighting issues on your Z. For me, pretty much everything wasn't working. So a combination of cleaning out the turn signal switches, cleaning out the hazard switch, that got my turn signals working because they do control each other. The way the circuit's wired up, it's all weird and goofy. But yeah, I had to clean out all the switches, went through, checked that one connector under the dash, had to clean up the connections at the headlights, solder up that pigtail. Those were all the steps that I went through. Hopefully this is helpful to you. This is my 1978 Barn Find 280Z, and I've been working on getting it running and driving. I've got a video up now on the clutch master cylinder, have one on the brake master cylinder as well, and getting all this working. So if that's something that you're interested, please follow along. All right guys, see you later.